People believe that the Bordens may have been cursed. You are crushing it.
Okay. Okay.
Next to you. I'm free here. Hey guys, this is Emma with the Spirit Keepers. We are finally back for 2026. I am so excited to do more ghost hunting and make more content for you guys. I cannot wait. I have such a good feeling about 2026. We are starting off the year with the Lizzie Borden house. And today we're going to be talking about the Lizzie Borden case. Instead of presenting the ghost hunting footage in the order that it happened, I'm going to have every video be about a different area of the Lizzie Borden house. So with this first video, we're going to be talking about the John Morse room, which is the spot where Greg, Ryan, and myself spent the night. And I am so excited to get into it. So I'm going to be starting the video off with an abridged version of the Lizzie Borden case and what happened. And then I'm going to get into some ghost hunting stuff. And then from there, I'm going to start showing you guys footage of the house as well as, like I said, the John Morse room. So this is going to be a longer series. So if there's a part that, if you already know about the history of the Lizzie Borden house and you don't really care about that part, you can absolutely select one of the timestamps to skip ahead. And there's so many different segments that we do for ghost hunting, so definitely check out the timestamps if it gets to the point where you're no longer interested in what we're discussing. They'll definitely help you navigate through the video. If you're really into this and want to see the other parts of this series, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to us. We would really appreciate that. There are some videos out there where they go into way more detail about the case itself and the trial and things like that. You can also book a tour at the Lizzie Borden house if you live in the area at the website that's in the description box below. Yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna go right into the Lizzie Borden house. I'm going to start out by breaking down each person in the family and who was at the home the day of the murders. So first off, we're going to start with the victims of this case. Andrew, the head of the Borden family was a man by the name of Andrew Borden. He was 70 years old at the time of the murders, and he was a very big name and prominent figure in Fall River. He was a real estate developer as well as a manufacturer and investor. So they've always been an affluent family in that area for the most part. He was incredibly wealthy, but he was also known for being frugal, as they would like to say. There was no indoor plumbing or electricity, despite being able to afford it at the Lizzie Borden house. The home was considered to be very middle class, which these types of things really bothered Emma and Lizzie Borden because they were such a wealthy family and they could definitely afford to have some of those amenities. And then there's Abby Borden. Abby Borden is the stepmother to Lizzie and Emma Borden. She married Andrew Borden in 1866, which was just 3 years after Sarah Borden, Lizzie and Emma's biological mother, passed away. So it was just 3 years afterwards that happened. And there were a lot of reasons for Emma and Lizzie to resent their stepmother. One of the reasons that they were upset is because Andrew Borden was helping Abby and some branches of her family tree with financial issues. So Emma and Lizzie were upset because he wouldn't do the same things for them or help them out with any form of real estate, and that really upset them. They were also upset because they were afraid that Abby's family was going to take all of Andrew's fortune after he passed away, and that Emma and Lizzie would be left with nothing. And they were single women, had no children, nothing like that, which is why they were still living at their father's home. And they were very nervous that they were going to not have any money or be left anything after Andrew passed. So that was kind of their reason behind some of their resentment towards Abby. They didn't have a great relationship with her leading up to the murders. So that's just something to be aware of. Like I said, Emma Borden was 41 years old at the time that the murders took place. And at the time of the murders, she actually was out of town. She was visiting friends, and she had been out of town for probably, I believe they say, about 2 weeks when the murders ended up happening. So she wasn't there at the time and had a very strong alibi as to where she was. And then we have Lizzie. So Lizzie is the youngest daughter. Like I said, she was 32 years old at the time of the murders. There are 2 other people I just want to talk about real quick before we get into what allegedly happened based on police reports. So Bridget Sullivan was the maid in the Borden household. She was an Irish immigrant, and she was 25 or 26 years old when this all happened. Like I said, she was an Irish immigrant, and she definitely relied on the Bordens for a home and for that kind of stability. A lot of times when you hear people talking about Bridget, they'll also call her Maggie, because Emma and Lizzie both called her Maggie, since there was another maid or servant who worked with them previously whose name was Maggie, and they just didn't want to use her actual name. So I thought that was also an interesting tidbit. Now, this final person who's kind of connected to this case from the family is a man by the name of John Morse. He is the maternal uncle of Lizzie and Emma. So he is Sarah Borden's brother. He was 59 years old at the time of the murders, and he actually lived in the Midwest. So he wasn't a local at all, and he unexpectedly ended up in town the night before the murders to discuss business with Andrew Borden. Allegedly, the night before the murders, John Morse and Andrew Borden got into a fight about business and decided that they would just reconvene the next day and see if they could discuss it further. So now we're going to go into the alleged events of August 4th, 1892. And like I said, Emma was out for 2 weeks, so she was not home at the time of the murder. She wasn't local. She was very much out of town. So that's just something to be reminded of before we get into this. So typically, Bridget and Abby wake up around 7 a.m. And Bridget was cooking breakfast for everyone. Like I said, John Morse did stay overnight. And he wasn't there for breakfast in the morning. He actually left fairly early. I believe they say around 8:30 or 8:45 he ended up leaving the home. Andrew ended up leaving the home. It was around 9 a.m. and for his morning walk and to check on his businesses. So at this point, Abby Borden had ordered Bridget to clean the windows both in and outside of the home. So she was in the process of working on that at the time, and she was outside at the time that 9 a.m. was hitting. So she was working on that. Abby Borden had gone upstairs around this time to change the sheets in the guest bedroom, since that's where John Morse had stayed overnight. And allegedly, Lizzie didn't really make her presence known or wake up until 9 a.m. And she told police initially that she had told police that she had gone down to the dining room and she was doing some ironing in the dining room area. And at about what police believe to be around 9:30 in the morning is when Abby Borden was murdered in in the guest room, aka the John Morse room. That's what they currently call that room at the Lizzie Borden house. So yeah, it was about 9:30 a.m. She was struck 19 times, and it was all blows to the head. Bridget was also sick, so I think that's something to be aware of. Neighbors reported seeing her throwing up outside. There were multiple people who saw Bridget outside cleaning windows, and she was talking to a bunch of the neighbors who saw her and things like that. So fast forward to about around 10:45 a.m. Andrew Borden comes back to the house, and he notices that typically the Borden home, there's 3 locks on the front door, and I believe the back door also has 3 locks, and typically only 2 of the locks stay locked throughout the day. And he found it strange because all 3 of the locks were being used, so all 3 of them were locked, which was really unusual for the family. And not only that, but it seemed like one of the locks was jammed, which is very odd, like I said. So Bridget at some point ended up coming back inside, and she heard Mr. Borden trying to get into the house, and she ended up working the locks on the front door, and she ended up swearing, and she told police that when this happened, she heard Lizzie laughing upstairs, and she actually ended up coming down the stairs around 10:45 when Andrew Borden was coming home. So at some point, Lizzie ended up upstairs on the 2nd floor and was coming back down when Andrew Borden came home. Andrew Borden wasn't feeling too well and decided to take a nap on the couch. So he ends up going in and taking a nap. Now, according to police, they believe that he was killed around 11 a.m. and he was struck 11 times to the head, and it was definitely while he was asleep, so that's something to be aware of. At this point, Bridget had gone upstairs to take a nap because, like I said, she wasn't feeling well. And Lizzie claims that when this all happened, that she had gone into the barn. She had something she needed to do in the barn, and that they had a pear tree on the side of their yard that she would go to frequently, and she claimed that she was actually outside at the time that this was all happening. And about 8 to 12, they believe that the time frame on this was about 8 to 12 minutes after Andrew Borden was killed. Lizzie calls upstairs to Bridget, who was napping, like I said, napping in her attic room. She said, "Bridget, come quick. Father's dead. Someone came in and killed him." So, and like I said, the time frame is about 12 minutes at most after his death. So she comes downstairs and they see the body, and Lizzie has her go see if she can go get a doctor and get neighbors to help them. One of the things that was noted by the neighbors when this all happened was that Lizzie was completely clean, so no one was seeing any like dirt or blood or anything like that, and it seems like not a single hair was out of place. So that's just something to note according to the neighbors. So the police ended up showing up. The family doctor did come over as well, and he gave Lizzie a double dose of morphine. So that was something that was prescribed to her. And that's when all chaos ensued. Word spread really quickly, and the outside of the Borden home was complete chaos. Now, there's a couple of strange things that happen around this time. So John Morse, he ended up coming back to the home because he was supposed to meet Andrew Borden for lunch, and allegedly the way he was acting was a little strange. So he saw this whole group. It was absolute chaos at the home when you walked up to it, and he didn't really seem too bothered by what was going on. He was questioned by police and did have a pretty airtight alibi. There were some interesting parts of this where he his alibi was pretty tight because he went into a lot of detail about what was going on that day and where he was and the exact times he was at places. An example of how strange this was he ended up taking a street carriage earlier in the day, and he was able to memorize the street conductor's name, as well as the fact that there were 6 priests on the carriage, and he had been speaking to them, and he described them in a lot of detail. He remembered people's badge numbers and things like that. So the police found it very strange, the amount of specifics in his alibi. There were a few strange things, specifically with Lizzie, when it came to this the investigation itself. One of the things is that her story kept changing with the police. However, like I said, the reason I brought up the double dose of morphine that was prescribed to her is that she was actually actively on morphine at the times when the police were trying to speak to her about the crimes, and that definitely would influence the way in which she answered questions. When they were doing their initial once-over of the home, they did find an axe in the basement with blood and hair in it, and they thought for sure that that was the murder weapon initially. However, when they looked into it further, they realized that the hair that was on the axe was cow hair. It didn't really confirm that that was the murder weapon, so they never truly found or confirmed a murder weapon. There were no other suspects aside from Lizzie. Like I said, John Morse seemed a little suspicious, but they really couldn't truly connect him to the case, so there wasn't really like much they could do despite his behavior being a little strange. So Lizzie ended up being arrested. I'm not going to go into the trial too much because I could talk about this all day, but pretty much all you need to know was she did end up getting acquitted by the jury in the trial, and the reason being, like, they claimed it was due to lack of evidence. People didn't believe, at the time, you have to remember, this is 1892, women were seen as property, so, and a lot of people truly did not believe that a woman would be able to do a crime like this. And that's why this was such a big deal, because even though Lizzie was acquitted, she was still arrested, and just the fact that she was arrested for this alone was such a big deal. It took the jury about 10 minutes to deliberate on this. However, they waited in the deliberation room for an hour just out of respect for the Borden family. So Lizzie was acquitted, and like I said, there were no other suspects, so there truly was no justice for Andrew or Abby Borden. There is also something that I just want you to be aware of in regards to the house next door to the Lizzie Borden house. So there was so people believe that the Bordens may have been cursed because there was a lot of misfortune in their family tree. And one example of this is the house next door to the Lizzie Borden house used to be owned by one of the other members of the Borden family. So there was a man by the name of Lodwick Borden, and he is Andrew Borden's uncle. So he is Emma and Lizzie Borden's great uncle. So just to see what the connection is there. And he had a second wife at this point, and her name was Eliza Borden. And they lived with their 3 children. The 3 children are Holder, Eliza, Ann, and Maria. Maria was the oldest, Eliza middle child, Holder is the final child in that line. And they believe that Eliza Borden had what we now know to be as postpartum depression, and she ended up throwing all 3 of her children into a well in the basement of their home. Now, Maria, who is the oldest of the 3 kids, she survived and actually was able to climb out of the well, but her mother Eliza, they believe there's a little bit of speculation with her death, but her death was ruled as her taking her own life. So they believe that she may have just slit her throat and ended up taking her own life that way. However, there is some speculation that maybe the father of Lodwick ended up finding the kids and killing her, because they said that the way they found her body was she was almost decapitated. So there's some speculation that she may have actually been murdered by the husband instead of taking her own life. Anyway, so that's kind of some history that's important to know. And now that we're getting into the ghost section, you'll understand why I brought up the history of that other home. So there's a lot of ghosts that are allegedly haunting the Lizzie Borden house. This shouldn't be a shock, but two of the ghosts that are supposed to be at the Lizzie Borden house are, of course, Andrew and Abby Borden, and they've been known to frequent the areas where they were murdered. So you can see them at any point in that home, but those are like big areas where they're known to haunt in particular. So those are the big ghosts there. And in regards to the second story I just told you about the home next door, Eliza is believed to be in the basement of the Lizzie Borden house. There is a corner where people have picked up on her spirit, and they believe that her and the kids are actually at the home as well. Eliza's specifically in the basement, and they think that like her spirit may have like transferred over to the Lizzie Borden house and that she now resides there. There's also some other negative entities that they believe are in the basement, as well as the attic. And the attic has a couple of negative entities. People have been known to like feel very heavy up in the attic and not enjoy being up there. There are the kids who were killed at the other home are said to be in the attic area, as well as some other kids. And Bridget has also been seen in the Lizzie Borden house. She's been seen in the attic area, which of course makes sense because that's where she stayed, as well as the kitchen and other spots in the home. So those are the three in connection to this particular case. People claim that Emma and Lizzie are sometimes at the home. They're just not there all the time, but that's kind of up to a little bit more speculation. There's a lot of spirits in that home, and people have seen both Abby and Andrew. They don't see them that often, but a lot of the activity is poltergeist activity. People have their sheets thrown off them in the middle of the night. People have been touched, and they believe that's specifically from Andrew Borden, as well as some of these Ouija board spirits that have come there. People have seen the kids as well, so there's definitely a lot of activity at this home, and we had an incredible investigation there. We end up in the basement in like a future video, as well as the children's room in the attic, where there's a lot of activity with the kids there, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So I look forward to seeing your reactions to this video, and without further ado, we're gonna get into some of that footage. Hey there everyone, it's Emma. I am just a few minutes away from being able to officially go into the Lizzie Borden house. Greg and Ryan aren't here yet, so I'm just going to go in and kind of get a feel for the place. I may try to do a couple of things, but it's going to be really minor things because I really want to make sure that like Greg and Ryan are here for a lot of the actual ghost hunting tonight. But I thought it'd be great for me to just film and kind of get my raw reaction to the place, and going into the Lizzie Borden house for the first time, checking it off the bucket list. So, and here's the house, here's the outside. My God. Oh my God. My God. Holy. Oh my God. Oh my God. The other living room is where Andrew Borden was killed, so we'll have to look into that later, but for now, we're gonna go up to the John Morse room now, which is where we are staying, so we'll just see. Okay. It's time to go up to the room. My God. Hey guys, so I decided that I'm not gonna ask too many questions or anything right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay in the bed just for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I have the REM pod works, but maybe it'll work tonight. So I have the REM pod going, so anything like makes contact with it, it'll set that off, and then I also have balls, that if anything is like anything touching the cat balls, they'll go off. I actually just had this one go off, right? It just went off as I was go up, and I can show you guys, but even when I step around it, like, it's not going off. So see my feet, it's not going off at all. So that's like to set that off. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm gonna go lie down in the bed for 5 minutes and see if I can either get the REM pod or something else to happen within 5 minutes, but I'm just gonna take a little power nap before Greg and Ryan get here. So yeah, Abby, if you're here, I'm so sorry. If Andrew's here, I'm so sorry about what happened. Right? If anyone else is here, just so you know, feel free to interact. You can use the video recorder. I can like hear your voice, and if you want to show me things within the next 5 minutes, you absolutely can. So I'm gonna set this up. Guys, cat ball's going off. So Abby, you are here. Is that what you're saying? I asked Abby to, or any spirit that's here, to have the cat balls go off if, you know, they're here and they want to make their presence known. And I haven't even started the full recording yet, and I keep getting them going off. So I'm going to try to test out one more thing before I lie down. So I'm going to ask them one more question. Abby, if that was you getting the ball to light up, can you tell me, here's what I'm gonna have you do. Within the next 5 minutes, if you you can get one cat ball to go off, that means that Lizzie did. Oh my God. Oh my God. You are crushing it. You are crushing it. You are doing such a good job with this. If this is you, Abby, within the next 5 minutes when I sit down, you're doing a great job. I love the enthusiasm. But once I lie down on the bed, if you can get the cat balls to go off 2 times within the next 5 minutes, I will take that as Lizzie did murder you. If you only get the cat ball to go off once, I'm going to take that as a no, and that Lizzie did not murder you. Okay, so if we want to start off with that, I'm going to lie down on the bed and then we will go from there. And I'm going to just let the video record and see what I get. Gotcha? And if it doesn't go off at all, it just means you're not here, I guess. So, right?
I live here.
My name's Greg. You live here, you said? What's your name? You
My
can
name's
tell me.
Emma.
Let me.
Okay.
Next to you.
Okay.
Next to you.
What's your name?
Okay, you're next to us.
You can tell us your name. Well, I'm Greg. This is Emma.
Hey, Ryan's over there.
That's Ryan.
You're next to us.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm gonna stop this.
That noise we just heard came from over here. Like near the light. It's bright. Yeah, it is bright. Is there different level?
Well, now it's dark. It is a little bit bright in here. Is that okay?
Are you trying to sleep? Is that what you're insinuating? Because it was like night, it's bright.
I gotta show the room. You can still talk. I know I'm holding a really weird big screen thing, but you can still say anything if you'd like to.
Give it to me.
Give what to you?
Do you need water? Do you want me to give you that?
What do you need? Do you want this
Often.
screen? Or you need water often? Well, I would think so.
Good.
Good.
Suffocate.
Excuse me? Suffocate?
Look over here.
Over where? Right? Left? Am I looking at you now? Should I go over here? Is this supposed to represent you? Are you who was murdered?
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Maybe they meant like unfortunately. Like that.
Unfortunately, me.
Yeah.
Is this you? Are you Abby? Are you Mrs. Borden? Can you give us a name?
What is your name?
Well, my name's Greg.
My name's Emma. Hi. That's Ryan.
What's your name? Are you comfortable telling us? Nightmare institution? And you said you need to go? Are you escaping an institution? Are you escaping a nightmare?
Maybe they're trying to escape being here. Maybe they feel trapped.
Is this the nightmare?
Reliving their deaths
Water.
Water?
Water. Yep. Got water.
Do you need water? Or is water how you died? Did you drown? Well, I can keep this on for now. And if there's anything you want to let us know, you tell us.
I'm visiting you.
I'm visiting you. And this is the guest bedroom.
Who's visiting?
Are you just here to say hi?
Bored.
Bored.
You're bored? Are
Oh,
we boring you?
sorry.
We'll go downstairs again. We're just charging up our stuff. We can reconvene in a little bit. I'll stop recording. And it's going under.
31.
Well, that was fast.
Well,
Station.
Not 32 anymore.
all right. Is there anyone here that would like to communicate through Emma? You can speak through the speak box. You can also use my phone. You can ring the bell. Plenty of options.
I'm upset.
Who are
Mhm.
you? Who's upset?
Coming.
Who are you?
Are you upset that we have multiple cameras on you? I would be.
A variety.
Could you tell us your name?
We have it.
Have what?
A variety?
Let me get my meter as well. I'm sneaking in front. And then I'm gonna set this up over here too.
I'm out.
It's-
You have to stay.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, we have plenty of tools for you to use. If you have a message, speak now or hold your peace.
It could be
Could be what?
Speaker will take your pennies.
Oh my god!
You rang the bell before. Will you
horrible.
Oh,
Well, would you ring the bell again? I know there are a lot of rules. But just go up to something.
Providing.
Say something.
We are providing new shit.
We're providing you
Yeah, we have
plenty
a lot of
opportunities to
avenues
say
My
here.
last breath. That's me.
Sorry.
Who are you?
Cut in half.
Ooh.
Oh.
They have to.
Are you talking about your murder?
For a price.
Okay. If you want some coin, we can certainly leave you a tip over in the coin jar or the coin bowl tomorrow.
Before we leave.
Right.
Greedy.
Celebrate.
I feel so bad at this because I'm always like, I don't know what to ask. Together so fast.
Mrs. Borden.
Mrs. Borden. Okay, well, we are in the room where you were unfortunately murdered. Are you okay that we're in your space? Are you alright if we spend the night?
Bed frame.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's dark.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is.
It is different. You would think it'd have to
Do you
be
have
different
any other
with cleaning.
messages
Yeah, really.
that Emma can tell us?
It's inside.
Did it hurt?
Is this Mrs. Borden?
I would be leaving.
Okay, well, we will tomorrow.
Mhm.
Can we be here tonight?
Her death.
Whose death? Talking about Mrs. Borden?
Borden.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting us know.
Well, that could have been him or her.
Right.
It's true.
Oh no, she said her though.
It's all night.
All night we'll be here.
Yep, we are here all night.
Let me check.
Can you tell us if you saw who did this to you? Did you see who killed you? Do you have any final messages? Because I'm gonna tap Emma.
Who is this?
Well, my
It's
name.
a person.
Well, you answered your question then.
Yep. Well, my name's Greg. That's Ryan. And that's Emma.
You do.
I'm free here.
That's good.
Good.
Oh,
Okay. That's awesome. Could
okay.
you elaborate? Do you want to ring the bell again? Say anything?
She's good.
Oh, good.
Okay. Are you all okay here? Okay, that's great.
Right.
Your request.
Are you okay meeting new people every so often?
Do it again.
Will you ring the bell again?
Jacket.
I don't need one right now. It's pretty warm in here.
Oh.
Well, is there any final message before I tap Emma?
Oh, that's it. You won't let it go under for
I am.
I guess that means she's done.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for letting us know and giving us the messages.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Nothing made sense.
I mean,
Or did it make sense?
it kind of started to.
Occasionally.
The bell was going crazy long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more towards the end, the bell was going off a little bit more, and then, like, Borden came up a couple of times, and we were trying to distinguish which Borden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I asked, like, are you okay here? And then you said, I am, or something like that. Or, I'm okay. I forget.
She was like free.
Yeah, yeah.
3
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was what that was in response to? I mean, that was what you said, and then...
Or maybe you said it, and then I was like, are you okay here? And then the bell rang. Something like that. I'll have to double check.
It was some
seemed
confirmation.
positive.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seemed positive.
Yeah, definitely.
That was cool. That is cool.
That was cool. I don't think I've ever seen someone do that.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us watch.